Welcome back. We are continuing our work on sectional views as we have worked on the full section as a type of section, and then we have also worked on uh, half section. Now we want to look at offset section. And when we talk about offset section as a type of sections, we are considering showing the maximum interior details of an object. If you look at this object now, unlike the ones that we did with under the full section and half section, we only have just a hole somewhere here, and we have a hole here. But now we have what? We have a hole here, a hole here, a hole here, and there will be a hole here too that is covered by this cylindrical part. Okay, we have 4 holes here. So we want to make sure that we are able to reveal the maximum interior details of this component. That's why we have the cutting plane. It goes in this direction, okay, then it bends here, and then it goes in this direction, goes up like this, and goes like this, okay, then it goes down, and then we also have here. So we want to make sure we are able to see this hole, and we're able to see this hole, and we're able to see the interior part of this hole, and the interior part of this, and interior part of this. That's the purpose of having this type of cutting plane on the object. So when you see a type of cutting plane like this on the object, we are talking about an offset section. So this is what we are going to do. So I want to make sure that, okay, if it is the plan or the top view of the object that is given to you with the cutting plane being laid on it like this. So I want to make sure that you are able to know, okay, this type of section is an offset section. That's what I want to understand. So for me to for you to be able to understand that, we are going to construct the top view or the plan, okay? Then we place the cutting plane on the plan. Then we now go and produce the sectional front elevation of the object. So let's go and see how that can be done. So what we are to do first is to draw a horizontal center line. So we draw horizontal center line here like this. So here we have the horizontal center line. Then we are going to draw a vertical center line. So we draw a vertical center line here. So here we have a vertical center line. Okay. So this is the vertical center line. So now let's talk about the dimensions that we have for the plan. So the plan is that we are drawing, the plan is the top of the objects. We are going to see this rectangle, and we are going to see these circles here. We see this circle, we see this circle, we see this circle, and we're going to see the circle here like this here that is covered by this cylindrical part. Now the length of this rectangle from here to here is 140 millimeters, while the width is 70 millimeters. So we have the this circle, or this diameter of the circle of the hole is 20 millimeters, okay, and then the center of this circle from this end is 20 millimeters away, okay. So while the distance of this cutting plane as it goes here, its distance from this end is 35 millimeters. So let's work on that first, okay. So what we are to do, and then, okay, so this circle has a diameter of 30 millimeters, and this one has a diameter of 50 millimeters. So let's start by drawing the two circles in the middle. So we divide 50 by 2, and that gives us 25 millimeters. Take a measurement of 35 millimeters from here, and then we place it at this point. So place the pin or the compass here, then we go on gently, we turn it around like this. Okay, so here we have the circle. Then we also take 15, which is half of that of 30. Okay, so we place it at this point, and then we turn it around. So we gently turn it around. So here we have this circle like this. All right, so having done that, the next thing that we are to do is that we are to from the center here, so we take 70 millimeters, as the length of the rectangle is 140, we take 70 to the left, and then from the center again, we take 70 millimeters to the right side, and then the width of the rectangle is 70. Half of 70 is 35. We take 35 millimeters down, and we take 35 millimeters up. So we have this. So at this point, we are to draw a horizontal line. So we draw a horizontal line. So from here to here. Okay, so we have this. And then we come up here, we also draw horizontal line. So here we draw horizontal line. So from here to here. So we have this. Okay, so then we have to draw a vertical line. So I want to make it a thick line at once as we see it on the given object. So we make this a thick line from here to here. Okay, so we have this, and then on this side we also do the same thing by making this a thick line from here to here. So here we have this. Okay, so this line has to be made a thick line. So this has to be made a thick line from here to here, and then so we complete it here, so making it a thick line as we see it, and then this line also, so we make it a thick line. All right, so we have this. Then the next thing that we have to do, so all these small holes that we have here, all these small holes that we have here, so we need to position them. We need to position them. So there's a dimension missing here. So what is this? Should be a center line here. So what is distance between this line and the center line here? Okay, so let's take that as let's take it as 15 millimeters. Let's take it at 15 millimeters. So what we have to do, so we have to take a measurement of 15 millimeters from here inward. So this is 15 millimeters here, and also on this side we also take a measurement of 15 millimeters inward like this. So we have this. Okay, so and then so we take a measurement of 20 millimeters inward. This is 20 millimeters. So coming to this side also we take 20 millimeters inward. This is 20 millimeters. So at this point you have to draw a horizontal center line. So draw horizontal center line like this. Have this, and then on this side we do the same thing, horizontal center line like this. Okay, so coming up here, so we also do the same thing by drawing in horizontal center line like this. So we have this, and we also do the same thing here, horizontal center line like this. So we have this. Okay, then at this point, so we have to draw a vertical center line, at this point. So we draw it like this. So we have this, and then we also draw a vertical center line here. So coming to this side, we do the same thing. So drawing a vertical center line here like this. And then here also we draw a vertical center line. So we have this. So now, so for the circles, so we have diameter is 20 while the radius is 10. So we take a measurement of 10 millimeters. Okay, so this has to be done gently. So we put the pin here, and then we turn it round. Okay, so we turn it round. So here we have this circle, and then we put it at this point. So we gently turn it round like this. So here we have this circle, and then we put the pin here again, and we turn it round, gently turn it round. So because the radius is small, so we have this circle, and then so the last one, so putting the pin of the compass here. So putting the pin of the compass here, and we gently turn it round. So we gently turn it round, and here we have this circle. So we have the circles. Okay, so now, so this is the plan. So now let's place the cutting plane on it for us to see how the cutting plane will be. So unlike that of the foot section that we did. Okay, so to place the cutting plane, okay, so the cutting plane, it goes, so if you look at it, let me bring the objects for you to see. So the cutting plane goes and pass through this hole that we have here. So we are going to start so like this. So the cutting plane is drawn with a thick long chain line. So here we have the cutting plane. So it goes then I have to take a measurement because we have the measurement from here to here to be 35. So I have to take 35 millimeters. So from this end, so here we have this to be 35 millimeters. So this is 35 millimeters. We have this. Okay, So now, so from this point now, so we draw this, okay, as part of the cutting plane to this point. Then the cutting plane now goes from this point and it goes up like this, okay. Then so let me make it more visible. So we have the cutting plane like this, and then so it now goes from here, so it enters in like this, okay. Then okay, so we have it so at this point, and then so it goes in. So I need to take a measurement of 35 millimeters from this point, okay. So this is 35, okay. So at this point I need to draw the line of the cutting plane from here. So now, so at this point now, so we take it in, okay, and then so we have it here like this, okay. So then so the cutting plane now comes out from here, so it comes out from here and goes to this side like this, okay. So here we have the cutting plane. I believe you can see the cutting plane. So you can see how the cutting plane is on the object when we have it bent like this. So it gives us what we call offset section. So let's put the arrowhead. So the arrowhead goes like this, and then so it goes from here, so it goes up like this. So here we have the arrowhead. So now, so let's put the arrow on it, and all right. So this is arrow XX. So cutting plane XX. Then we have this. So this is the cutting plane. So it cuts off this part. So we want to see what we have here now. Now, so let's draw the sectional view for the offset section. So we are now looking at the object in this direction after we have taken this part off. So the thickness from here to here is still 12 millimeters. So what we are to do first is that we are to draw a vertical center line. We extend this vertical center line, we extend it, so it comes up like this. So we have this, and then this center line also, it has to be taken up a bit. Okay, so then on this side, so this center line will also be taken up. So we have this, and then so then we come up a bit and we draw a horizontal line. So draw a horizontal line like this. So we have this, okay. So and then so we take a measurement of 12 millimeters up. So here is 12 millimeters. So then we draw horizontal line. So we draw horizontal line. So from here, so to here, so we have this, and then so at this point here, so we transfer this end of the rectangle so to this point. So we have this, okay. So then also at this end, so we also draw from here to here. So we have this. All right, so we have this now, okay. So then the next thing that we have to do is that so for this hole that we have here, by the time we take this part off, the line at this point will be exposed and this one will be exposed. So we are going to see them as thick lines. So let's do that. So we can go with the one up here. So we are to draw a complete solid line from here to here, okay. And we also do the same thing on this side, a complete solid line from here to here. So we have this, okay. So that is for this hole that we have here. When this part is taken off, we see this line as a thick line and also as a complete solid line. So we do the same thing here also, because this hole will also be exposed, okay, after the cutting plane pass through that hole. So we make this a complete solid line, and also for this, so we also make this a complete solid line from here to here. So here we have this now, okay. Now, so other thing that we have to do is that this hole will be exposed, okay, to be exposed. So we have to show that here. So what we are to do in this case is that we are to draw a vertical line. So from this point here, okay, so we will not draw it from the plan, so we can just take it up like this. Okay. So then we are to draw this also. So because the hole will be exposed, and also for this, so we are to draw this. So and then so on this here also, so we draw this like this. Okay. So then we take the height from here to here, so is 30 millimeters. So we take a measurement of 30 millimeters. Of this is 30 millimeters. Then we are to draw a horizontal line, so we make it a thick line at once. So draw from here to here. So we have this. Okay. Here we have this, and then so this line that we have here, so this line, so we make the thick line from here to this point. Okay, so that will stop there. And also for this one, so we also draw from here, so it will stop on this line. Okay, then for this one, the hole is a true hole. It goes to the end or to the bottom of the whole object. Okay, so this line will be drawn from here to down here to touch this line. Okay, then this also will be drawn from here to touch this line from here to here. So we have this. Okay, then so this line also, so we are going to draw this line. So the whole of this line will be a thick line from here to this end. So we have like this. Why this one from here? So it is from here, it will stop at this point. Okay, and this also we draw from here, it will stop at this point. Okay, so we have this. Okay, then having cut this part off, so we are going to see a rough surface here. So this surface will be rough, and this surface will be rough, this surface will be rough. You look at it, it will somehow look like that of the full section, but it's not full section. Okay, so considering how the cutting plane looks on the plan of the object. Okay, so it is not full section. So what you just need to take note of is the way cutting plane is placed, or how the cutting plane is placed on the object. That's what you need to consider. Okay, so take note of that. Now, so let's put the hatching lines on this surface. So hatching lines are drawn with a thin continuous line, so with the use of 45-degree set square. So we put the hatching lines on this surface. Okay, and they are to be equally spaced. Okay, so the equal space is not to be measured. It's not to be measured. Okay, so we have it. Okay, so this surface will not be hashed. So take note of that, because this is a hole, so the cutting plane doesn't touch the other part. Okay, then it only passes through the middle. Okay, so that's why we are not hatching that. Also, this is a hole, it will not be hashed. So then we also put hatching line here. So here we put hatching line here. Okay, and then so we bring it here. So also we put hatching line here and here. Okay, then coming here, so also put hatching line here. Okay, so as I said, that hatching lines are drawn with 45-degree set square, and they are to be made thin continuous line. Okay, okay, so this is also a hole, it will not be hashed. Okay, all right, so this is an offset section. So this is how the sectional view will look, as an offset section. But what you need to focus on, as I said, is the how the cutting plane is placed on the object. So take note of that. Okay, so you can write offset section here. All right, so this is it. It's as simple as I've done it here. So let's meet on the next one. I want us to look at something very, very important I need to be aware of. Thank you.